Alrighty, howdy. It's time for a February 25th, 2024 garden update. So right now, I am way behind on seedlings and stuff. So I'm about to go to the store. I think Atwood's has the cheapest stuff. I have some of these trays and these trays ready for seedlings. I'll just have to start some seedlings. I have a few going, but I'm running behind. Over here, I've just got some random plants, things that sprouted up from last year. We got catnip that survives everything. There's some tomatoes in that little thing. I think those are sunflowers sprouting up. There's rosemary. A couple of these were purchased. A couple of these are stuff from last year. But otherwise, I'll get this stuff potted up later, but I'm not in a rush. I've planted some seeds and a couple of these things. I have moved some mint over there so it can take over. A couple things over here, but nothing too much. I repotted these red oaks, and there's another catnip or two around here. So catnip grows all over the place. So right now I'm starting to stage my leaf section. So all this, I have bags of leaves, I have bags of leaves, and a new leaf shredder. So this thing works pretty well. I got it. It's like a weed trimmer, but like internal, so it just shreds the leaves. The only issue is like with these, like it chews through these up pretty quickly if I encounter any branches or anything else, but like it doesn't take long to shred up the leaves. And what I've been doing, since normally I have like this pile of leaves from last year and then I'm starting a new one from this year, I'm not mixing them up because this is like all broken down. If I look at it, it's like that doesn't look that much like leaves. It's almost like shredded mulch. I still have a whole bunch of my mushroom compost blocks going. There's a little bit of mushrooms growing out of these, but these are basically spent and done. So what I'm taking with these is I'm going to break them up like these guys over here. And I've been mixing them up. There's some this is all pure Starbucks coffee right here. And then this is shredded up mushroom compost blocks that I've just, like some of them just break down like this, but some are rock hard chunks. So I've been mixing those up and dropping some in the top of these bags, then mix it up in here and shred up about 2 bags of leaves for one of these, so it reduces the volume by half, and then I'm mixing up in here. So like last year, this is probably pure leaves. I didn't shred them or anything, and then I used to run over my lawnmower with them, but I burned up my lawnmower too quick running my lawnmower over it. So I'm just gonna run these through this shredder once I'm done over here, but I'm basically gonna take all these and make a new stack of leaves. I'll probably even shred up the brown bags of leaves, but I use the bags for lots of garden stuff because I'll set them, like shred down the rows and stuff of I'll shred this as mulch or use it for compost a lot of the time. So the main thing is I'm shredding it early in the season, so anytime I want to get stuff out of here, it'll be shredded and ready for the garden. Where this, I usually would have to shred it then use it, but I'll try to get this shredded up and put it in buckets. But that's a little bit of what I'm doing. So I'm just mixing coffee, mushroom compost, and leaves for this pile, and that's it for now. And then I can dump that into compost and mix it with grass just to make straight compost. This I'm going to probably shred up, and then I'm going to use this as like top dressing mulch in between the rows. So I'll take the brown bags from those, set them in between the rows of the garden, and then I'll cover it with mulch, basically as a weed blocker, and just adding mulch to the yard. But I do, I have a couple options on what I'm doing in the yard. So over here, I haven't looked today to see if any of my hops have sprouted yet. I'm definitely seeing some seeds sprouting. It looks like, I'm guessing those are sunflowers because sunflowers went crazy over here. I do have 5 nice looking cilantro plants ready to go over here. So there's a whole bunch of cilantro. On the other side of the fence is some of the onions and stuff, but there's a bunch of sunflowers over there. So hops will sprout soon. They're not yet, but probably in the next week or two. This section, I'm adding more mulch to the top of it. So I added about 6 or 7 buckets of mulch. I'll do the same to here, which means this is basically 1 full carload of mulch using black buckets, like that stack of back buckets that I get from the city. And I will fill those up with mulch, like 1 carload, and then this is basically what it took. So I'm probably gonna have to get 4 carloads, maybe 5 if I get more mulch for here too. So I expanded this garden section. This is new this year. I added, like, basically where this pole was right here, all this was a brand new section. It's got a bunch of bags of dirt, like 15 bags of dirt, some of my compost from the garden, and then a whole bunch of shredded mulch that was actually from a pile of wood mulch that I had. That was it was actually a bunch of wood for for burning and stuff, but the bottom of it got so broken down, and I was like, I'll just use that for mulch. So I added that there. Over here, I still have to sort out my tomato cages. I've been shredding up my pile of dead plants from last year, so all this is just going to get run over with a lawnmower. I'm going to have all sorts of basil and other stuff sprouting up here soon. Next time after it rains, I will have an abundance of random plants growing. Yeah, I need to tackle and organize the tomato cages. It's just like a pile of cages everywhere right here. And it's not that big of a deal, but it's low priority, so I haven't got to it yet. This is my pile of mulch. Like all the leftover wood that was from the pile of mulch where my leaves are, like I've now mixed with mushroom compost blocks I'm going to try to grow mushrooms with. Over here, I have my broccoli down this row. I have 2 rows of broccoli. One of them, these were all the same batch of broccoli, but I planted these in the ground early. I ran late on these ones, and these guys look like crap. I might clip the tops of them and let them see if they can get some more growth in there, but they're nothing compared to like how good these guys look. In the garden right now, there's just broccoli, cilantro, and garlic, and that's all I've got planted over here for now. It's about time to get a few things in the ground. This is my ready to go compost for the season, so I'll use this first, and then after this is done, then I'll try to rotate these guys. This one will probably be ready. So with this one's probably going to break down too long, and this one is still in process. I've got a ton of like free compost or free produce from Aldi that they've chunked, and I've been adding it in here. But I added a whole bunch of mushroom compost worms in here. So there's one of my worms right there. So these guys, this is going to be like a big. There's another one of my red guys over here. So there's going to be a whole bunch of worms in here. But this is going to be my current compost, and then I'll start rotating one to the next, to the next, to the next until it's done. I'm going to add that other cage over here and just kind of keep them over here. This is my yard waste already, so this is all just yard trimmings from mowing the yard, and that'll be the first thing. Once I start rotating these out over, then I'm going to start a new batch of compost and mix in yard trimmings and my shredded leaf mulch and use that as much of that as possible. It just we'll get there when I get there. This is also just dead plants, like ripped up weeds and other stuff. At the bottom is stuff from like the end of garden season, and then I'll start mixing that in with the shredded compost and mulch. But like, yeah, these ones are kind of staged to get added to the compost. It's like pre-compost stuff, but just like the bag of leaves or the pile of leaves over there. So over here, I have my garlic planted in the ground. These guys are coming along pretty well. I need to plant potatoes and onions here soon. I don't know if I'll get around to it today. It's kind of hot. But otherwise, over here, I need to set up my sprinkler again because I cleared out the weeds over here. There was a ton of weeds in here, and now they've been ripped out. But I now have my asparagus in process. So here's a nice little asparagus, and all these are brand new asparagus plants, really on their second year. So I can start clipping some of these, but a lot of these are going to fern out. Starting next year, they'll really start producing. So my good asparagus plants right here. So it's kicking off one over here. There's a couple asparagus kicking off over here. So I need to get these guys some water. Tomorrow we're supposed to be like 90 degrees, which is really, really early for that high of a temperature, but that's Texas for you. And there's a nice cilantro. But otherwise, yeah, I'm still rocking along on what all I got going on. Here's Ari. She's hiding in the shade because she's a little ninja. Over here is some of the stuff I have ready to plant. So I have all these onions. I bought my onion sets, and since I wasn't ready to plant them, I just threw them in a thing of dirt. So this gets them started and going and rooting. But then it's easy to transplant out of this, so I'll transplant them into the garden and then start on that. There's a couple potatoes I have in here. I believe that's either, forgot if that's marjoram. I think it's just oregano. It's hard to tell the difference between the two, but it didn't fare that well after the freeze, but didn't die. Another one that was above ground totally died. So I have these guys ready to go. Need to get stuff planted, all sorts of stuff to work on in the garden. I got a free hay bale, which I'll use for mulch in there. But yeah, what I was mentioning on the garden stuff is I will shred the leaves and then throw down, like I have cardboard all over here, but each of these rows, I'll lay down the paper bags and then cover up the weeds that are all growing right here. I didn't till this year, so that's one of the main differences between this year and last year, and I almost kind of wish I would, because this stuff is going to be a pain in the butt to rip out here shortly. But once I start planting, we'll see. There's sunflower seeds, a bunch of random weeds going. I'm going to have to deal with weeds because I didn't till, but that's how it goes this year. So we'll see what I can make happen. But like these guys are going to be a pain in the butt, I know, because they spread on the ground and then they have a deep-rooted system. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff I have ready to plant. Much other stuff is going to get going, and I think I'm going to go to the store here in a minute and start buying some plants because I didn't do as many seedlings as I normally would like to, but otherwise it's time to get in gear because we're hitting 90 degrees, and after here I don't think we're getting any more freezes. We could though, but otherwise it's just time to start getting stuff in the ground and start getting my plants together. So garden is moving along. This is first step, getting prepped.